Okay, so today's video is gonna be Ineffa guides are trash, and the reason for that being is because Ineffa clearly is probably the most evident character we've seen of, yeah, she's gonna get a lot better in 6.0. So saying anything basically about Ineffa beyond she seems like she could be very good is basically just purely, you know, we don't know. Because, I mean, we're talking about Ineffa, you know, the Archon level character that they're gonna be releasing, Columbina, is a Hydro character, which works great with Ineffa. However, could be an entirely wrong thing that I'm saying here. Could be completely wrong, right? So judging by that is completely wrong. So right now, Ineffa just cannot even be judged. Even when she comes out, she cannot be judged. It's just a huge issue, right? It's like if, you know, Miss Coffee came out and, you know, she didn't buff Ayaka to the tremendous amount she did, but then like Skirt came out the update after and it's like, oh, that's why. Oh, she's actually good. Miss Coffee's actually good. Now, Miss Coffee did come out and buffed Ayaka insane amounts, but right now we cannot judge characters. You know, we're in a point where like, if we judge characters, it's gonna change basically every version until the Archon comes out. Legitimately, I'm not joking. When the Archon level character drops, that's when we start seeing consistency and like, okay, this character is good, this character isn't, because we're talking about a character who could be good. You know, all she needs is the Archon. The Archon could save this character, and then the Archon doesn't necessarily save this character, and it becomes it becomes an issue of, well, Chaska, you know, she ended up not being as good as we thought. She's still single target heavy, right? She's a lot better in Stygian now, but I mean, you know, we can't really, she had an uncertain life, and then Mavuika dropped, and she's been basically at that point of like, yeah, she's like okay. You know, if you're looking at C0R1 level, she's okay. Not really too insane, utterly dominant. You know, there's nothing to, you know, brag about this character. She's all right. Whereas, you know, Kenich comes and he's like, man, he's really good, but you gotta pair him with Shangling. Like, that's not a fun pairing, right? You either pair him with Shangling or Toma, and Toma had his own issues of not reaching the boss, you know. And then Mavuika comes out and she's like, yo, 40% damage bonus on your strongest hit, because Mavuika has 40% that Ks, and Kenich gets a special extra attack damage through this. He can stack this up to 2 times. Sometimes his first hit will get 2 stacks of this, and it'll be really strong. Like, it'll hit really strong. And having a just like, oh, basically 40% damage bonus on top of that, it really is nice. It works very well with Kenich. It is a very great pairing, made Kenich a lot better to use, a lot more consistent. Overall, just made the character better. Emily, you want to know what a character is like when she just really doesn't have, you know, I mean, we all kind of understood like Emily, Kenich, yeah, sure, they're gonna be the pairing, right? But we didn't know that Emily was gonna come out and like Fiorina was going to be a very competitive option on Kenich's team. And then at that point, why are we gassing up Emily, right? We can gas up Ineffa, right? I do think that we're looking at something completely different, because we're not seeing burn reaction 2.0, right? We're seeing Ineffa transform an entire reaction into lunar electrocharge, give it a lot of damage bonus. She is a very unique character who provides a lot. So you can look for things that are different. However, you know, we can't just say definitively this character is good. And I just, like, if you want to, you know, should I summon on Ineffa, I'm gonna have to tell you no, not until we see what is in 6.0 and what really we're looking at with, you know, probably the Electro guy is gonna come out in 6.0 as a DPS. It'll be very fire, because like, let's be real here, we've been waiting for a tall Electro male character ever since they showed us Zhao's like lost friend, and by lost I mean that man dead. I was waiting, I was so hyped when 4-armed monkey man, like he was so cool, and then they killed him, and then now I don't have 4-armed monkey man, and I've been waiting for a tall Electro male character, because let's be real, the Electro male characters, this is the best we got. And I love Kagi, you know, I grew up with this content. You can see how that went, you know, but Sinnoh, yeah, man, especially nowadays. Whew. Yeah. But yeah, no, seriously though, we could definitely see Ineffa be really good or really bad, right? Because all that it takes for Ineffa to turn really bad is she's not needed on any Electrocharge teams. Like, she's not needed, like, you know, how we see Miss Coffee here. Miss Coffee, you take her away from Skirk, and it's like half your damage is gone, right? Now, do I think that is necessarily what we need to see for, you know, Ineffa? No, I don't so, because I think, you know, Freeze was in a lot worse position than Electrocharge. Electrocharge lately has gotten a lot of buffs. It has a lot of new characters, like Ororon. You know, we'll see how Ororon, you know, is done, because Ororon, he can work. However, the issue is, if the Electrocharge DPS, we're assuming he scales with attack, right? He can be pretty good for an Electrocharge, you know, support, because he can give you 30% attack. He can give you extra off-field damage. That is definitely not bad at all. And then he can also give you 40% damage bonus. Ororon is a really strong character, and especially if you try and give him a 5-star weapon. Some 5-star weapons, like Venti's signature weapon, I forget what it's called, but as a Wimblum Ode or something, or no, that's this. Yeah, that's this. That's not what I'm at. Venti's weapon, you know, Venti's like signature weapon, it gives a lot of stats, and Ororon can hold it, right? So it'll be interesting to see, like, it's possible Ororon could be good. It's possible Ororon could be trash, but, you know, could he be a good replacement for Ineffa on, you know, the Electro guys? Because I'm assuming, purely assuming, that he's not gonna be a, like, we're not gonna want 3 Electro characters on the same. I'm gonna flat out say, I don't think we're gonna want 3 Electro characters on the same team, and then, like, 1 Hydro character. It's not impossible, but I feel like that leaves a lot of Electro application, very little Hydro application, and the character who best applies Hydro is Xingqiu, whereas, you know, if you were to just simply grab, you know, Fiorina over here, you're also grabbing 100% damage bonus on top of that, and then you just add Yelan to the team, and it looks a lot better. We'll have to see. I would imagine that Fiorina is probably going to end up being good on these Electrocharge teams, at least until Columbina comes out, and then maybe Columbina has Xingqiu level Hydro application, and we only need 1 Hydro character on the team, right? It is very possible that is how Columbina is, like, way better than, you know, Fiorina, because imagine Lunar Charge reactions are all related to Hydro, right? That could be insane. It is purely right now, I have to say, that anybody who thinks they have a definitive answer for Ineffa is just wrong, because, again, she's not set up in team positions to be that well, you know, versed, and she's not coherent with every single character, because, I mean, we're talking about Ineffa. Probably her best team will end up being Nevi or Verissa. Verissa already has an overload team, which is probably easily gonna stomp out the Ineffa, you know, Electrocharge team. And then we also have Nevi, who he definitely, you know, I'm not gonna knock it, but he's not designed for Ineffa. He's not. Like, they're all right. Put it simply, I'm gonna get off of this. I just realized that framework. Put it simply, Nevi is over a year old. Okay, do we think that they were thinking that far ahead to put Ineffa's kit? Yo, he works very well with Ineffa. No, I don't think that they did that. I don't. So yeah, right now, I think, you know, Nevi, good off-field damage team. Nevi just is really probably the most valuable DPS on your account due to the way that he's functioned, the way that he's aged. He really is, like, the best value DPS we have ever had, because every single, like, off-field damage dealer ends up being a, like, side grade or a buff to him. If you're a free-to-play player, getting Nevi has probably been one of your best decisions you've ever made. So just something. And especially if you got C1 Nevi. If you got C1 Nevi and your restrictions were a lot less, I mean, that's pretty good, right? And so just talking about it again, the thing that people need to understand when we go into Ineffa's, like, launch version is that people who say Ineffa's Ineffa's gonna be mid are wrong. But people who say she's gonna be good are also wrong. People who say she's gonna be bad are also wrong. Everyone will be wrong until proven right in 6.0 when we actually see what this character was made. And I think that is the biggest thing, and I don't wanna, I will be judging her, and I will be saying, you know, okay, this character, is she impressive? If she's not impressive right now, Sarah, I'm sorry, I disown you. But if she's not impressive right now, I'm gonna say she's not impressive right now. Could that change in literally 42 days from her launch? Absolutely. I think you could immediately do a complete switch around, right? And I haven't even talked about it, but she doesn't have a proper artifact set too, right? She doesn't have a proper artifact set. We're using an artifact set from 2 years ago. This is not an artifact set we want to look at and be like, yeah, that's what we want to be in our best in slot from, you know, a character that's released in 2025, baby. This is not an artifact set for a character who is modern. No, this was made specifically for characters who were coming out in 3.0. And now we don't have those characters because we're in 5.0 and we're about to enter 6.0. Same thing you can see with, you know, this. I mean, again, guys, just understand we are going to see new artifact sets be released in 6.0, and I imagine Ineffa is going to be using. I do really think that Ineffa could be using. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you did enjoy, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.